Okay, so this is just going to be a quick demonstration of what our calculation of AMDR is. So AMDR is your average maximum detection range. So it's basically how far each individual can see and still recognize an object. So what we typically do is we'll have this crew leader, because the crew leader doesn't have to do the AMDR because they're not a searcher, and they'll pick an object that is indicative of what we're trying to search for. In this case, just a glove. Maybe the search subject was known to be wearing a black pair of gloves. So they will toss it into an area of ground. They're not going to do anything particular with it, but they're going to toss it in an area that's typical for the area that we're searching. And what we're going to do is, there's a lot of safety here to make sure you do it right, is we're going to see how far you can see and recognize that object. So I'm going to walk away. Now I know roughly where it's at, and I can walk up, and since there's a lot of leaves and there's a lot of dark wood here, I might have to get this close before I can even recognize exactly what it is. What I'm going to do is from here I'm going to count my paces. 1, so 3 steps or 1.5 paces. And then I'm going to do is going to pick a couple more directions to do the same thing. So I'm going to walk away, and I'm going to walk forward so that I don't trip over anything. And I've got to be careful of that. And then I know I'm going to walk towards that object again. And then once I can recognize what the object is again, then I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to count my paces in. Again, this is another 3 steps, 1.5 paces. And I'll do that maybe 1 or 2 times, depending on the foliage and the terrain. You may want to do it 4 to 6 times. Again, I'll do it again here. Obviously, if I'm on this side and I'm being blocked by this tree, I'm going to find an angle that's slightly better. I'm going to start walking and say, oh, I can recognize the object from here now. So I'm going to walk in, and we call it average because we'll take all of our readings. In this case, it's easy. All of my steps were 3 steps or 1.5 paces, and that's what my AMDR is going to be. Each person's going to have a slightly different AMDR, and that's good. That's fine, because everybody's eyes are different, their perception's different. The terrain is going to make a big difference. The amount of light is going to make a difference. How tired you are, how much sleep you've had is going to make a difference. So each person's going to have a different AMDR, and that's going to set up the spacing between searchers to the left and the right. Hopefully, if you have any questions, ask your instructor. Thanks very much. Okay, so this is going to be our example of what an efficiency search procedure looks like. It starts with the evolution where the crew leader is going to have the flankers move forward. Once the flankers move forward, set up their spacing, then the searchers are going to start moving forward. Now the flankers, obviously, they have to keep going forward in a straight line because they're setting up that line. But we as searchers, we're going to be walking in what we call the purposeful wandering, meandering pattern. Even though my path is going to be a straight line that way, I'm going to be going here, around this tree, looking at around these trees, around these branches, looking underneath the branches, looking through all the foliage here to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So even though I'm going off my deviated path, I'm going to keep coming back to my path. I'm going to check both sides until I hit the space where my partner on my left side and my right side are both searching. And I'm going to just keep going until I hit that forward distance where I match up with my flankers. When my flankers have moved up whatever the crew leader has described as our critical spacing. So it's going to be either 1 or 1.5 times that critical spacing, and they're going to move up that far. In the meantime, us as searchers are going to walk around and try and find, any clues, or obviously the subject. The next thing we're going to do is once we all get up in line, so the crew leader is going to say, everybody get up in line. Once we've all finished our searching, then we're going to start doing our 360s. And we teach our 360s to be 6 different angles all the way around a circle, and I'll just demonstrate that now. So we do looking and not just scanning. So we're going to look down low, look medium, and then look high, because you never know what could be in the trees. And I'm going to rotate. So that's 12 o'clock. I'm going to go 2 o'clock, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. Now I'm at 6 o'clock. You don't have to do this with your hands, but it's a good way to try and, you know, check your focus. Now you shouldn't be scanning, as I said. You're looking, and you're looking. You have to have that split second of stopping so that you can understand and grab and understand what's in front of you. If you're just scanning, it's easy to miss details. It's really easy to miss clues that way. So you do your 360s. Everybody's going to do it the same way. You're going to go clockwise, looking down, so to your right. It's really critical just that everybody does it that way, but particularly at night, when a lot of people have flashlights or headlights, you want to have that motion clockwise so that you're not blinding the person next to you. You want to sort of synchronize so everybody's turning at the same time, everybody's looking that way at the same time, everybody's looking that way at the same time, so that you're not blinding anybody else. That's the basic example of what the search is for our efficiency search.